All right, welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Fanatics. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for SM. I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky, Chicago Bears content creator. You can follow him on all socials at It's Ficky Baby. And just like HBO or just like Max, we're a little late today, of course, for our episode review for Hard Knocks episode 2 of Chicago Bears training camp. Again, we were going to go live last night. Everyone knows if you were trying to watch Hard Knocks when it was released, you know it was not released on time. So we pushed our show back to tonight for, like I said, it was just getting a little late. So if you're rocking with us, we appreciate it. You know, if we have, you guys are spending time with us, a day after it was released, it's really fun to see, everyone kind of still coming in. And of course, it was still a really fun episode. So we're going to get to that. A lot of stuff that we did in episode 1. If you missed it, we're going to do the exact same kind of format here. So to run it down, Ficky, we're going to do just kind of the best part of the show, worst part of the show. Then we'll get to our star of the episode, similar to what we did in episode 1, like I said. And then we'll do like a bad look of the episode, whether that's really anything. It can be a player, something we didn't like. We'll go to the hot seat, and then we'll do a Rotten Tomatoes score. And then, of course, we'll predict kind of what we're going to see in episode 3. So that's the quick kind of segments here that we're going to get to. But before we do that, Ficky, man, how you doing? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. It sucks that HBO, didn't get the episode out in time, but I'll tell you what, it made for a great hour of Twitter content because nothing but just the most hilarious tweets about the HBO situation. I called HBO twice. Like their agents probably were just frantic going through trying to figure out what's going on. But that just shows you the power of like the Bears fans. I don't know if like we necessarily caused it. There probably is something to that, but like
we caused it.
It has to be, right?
We have to go with that.
Well, if that's not it, there was at least a stat that's proven that this was last episode was the biggest opening night viewership for Hard Knocks in the past 5 years. So we know this as Bears fans. We know our community like diehards, and we come by numbers like volume out the door. Like, so it's good to see that like Hard Knocks, we're still supporting it. And then also the greatness about Hard Knocks is that it's getting that national media. Because for Chicago being the third, largest city, it's not, we don't get a lot of national media. Normally when we do, it's about like how bad the team is. So it's nice to actually see like Good Morning Football talk about us. A lot of other of the big platforms talk about us because they have to. So I feel good about it. Even though I was up till like midnight watching that thing, it was still a good episode.
Yeah, I almost muted myself there, or I almost came off talking. That's a close one. We'll let the viewers judge there. I think you're right. So yeah, Peter Schrager, NFL Network, they went ahead and released that episode, last week's episode of Hard Knocks, which was the premiere, was the show's highest rated premiere night in 5 years. So
crazy.
I think with everything that's going on with the Bears, it really was just the perfect recipe. That's why everyone kind of knew going in a couple months ago that the Bears are going to be the number one target, and we're going to kind of get to, what the season's been so far. I know we're only 2 episodes in. So we'll start with the first segment here, and it's going to be the best part of the show. Ficky, I have some notes. I don't know. Do you want to go first here? Or do you want me to take a crack?
I went first last time. So let you go first this time. And while you do, it seems like I'm having a little laggy issue. So I'm going to plug in my Ethernet cord while you give the best. It'll be like,
okay.
Seconds. All right.
Awesome. So my best here, let me pull up. So I have a lot here. I was like, where'd Ficky go? I guess, yeah, he's going to do it. So my best, Ficky, and Jack, who's our producer, he's going to hop in here in a moment. There he is. Okay. I was wondering when he was going to hop in. My best moment, and I'm not sure, I haven't even tweeted this yet, and maybe someone else did. So if they have already tweeted this clip, send it to me. I'd like to share it myself. But it was when Caleb Williams got hit late. It was during that montage where it was really cool during the preseason. They had some epic music, really good video cut-ups and everything. So that it's really great job there. But it was when Caleb got hit out of bounds and the Bills player, I think it was 41, 42, whatever it was, he hit Caleb late. Caleb kind of flopped, but you got to sell it. I appreciate that. Tevin Jenkins, of course, when I was watching the All-22 on Monday or whenever it was out, that's what I noticed. Because during the live portion of the preseason game, I thought Caleb got hit late, and I thought Tevin was, there to back him up and then talking to the other Bills player, kind of just backing up his quarterback. I ended up, deleting that tweet because I thought I was wrong. But then going back on all 22, I shared this on my Twitter. You could see it clear as day that it was a late hit, and then also Tevin, ran over there. But DJ was mic'd up. We all saw that I love football. I like football when he gets hit.
That's hilarious.
But I'm kind of long-winded here, but it was right when that Bills player was like, "Hey, Caleb, go out of bounds, bro. Like, go out of bounds. Like, tell him, hey, don't do that shit. Play the sideline like that." And DJ's right there, and you hear him, and he goes, "Shut up." Just shut up to the guy, And I thought that was there's so many great parts that I didn't want to like just cherry pick the easy ones. And so this one, it kind of made me laugh out loud when I was watching it late last night, Ficky, like you said, about an hour and a half past it was, the original premiere of the episode. And I thought just that little portion because DJ isn't a guy you expect to really see anything. Like the way he carries himself, I just thought it was cool that, hey, he noticed this guy is talking to Caleb. Don't talk to my quarterback. Keep your shit over there. Don't do that. So I just thought it was funny to hear him, and it's just nonchalant. Just shut up. That just made me. So that's my best part. Like I said, trying to be a little bit different than picking all the other
easy ones,
potential ones. Yeah. So
yeah, you kind of knocked on mine.
Really,
a little bit.
So you noticed it too.
Yeah, so that was a good one. I did.
Yeah.
You noticed? I didn't notice it live, like you said, the preseason game. Like I didn't because the camera angle is obviously following the ball, so you just get the tail end of it, right? But you see
I'm
it
gonna pat
obviously
myself on the back here because I originally thought that's what happened, and then I should
you're right.
Deleted it. I should trust my instincts.
nothing like
that tweet was going nuts.
A deleted tweet from Dave.
No,
but no, I think that was a good one. But I was actually going to say it was kind of not a Keenan Allen. It was kind of the DJ Moore kind of show. I would say they went more in depth with him. Obviously, you had his family, which was a cool little break and montage there. But the I Love Football one was the one I just loved, right? But that's a little bit easy because everyone was talking about that. But there was one part that was so quick. I bet you it was like maybe a second, right? And it was when they were in the offensive room going over the.
Jack, did we lose him?
I think.
Oh,
we got.
Thought I lost you for a second. Or was it me?
I'm still here. Oh, am I still here?
Sort of.
Yeah, I can see. You're there.
Weird.
Ficky.
I'm plugged into the.
You're good.
You're good.
Weird because it's not even showing. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I definitely plugged up my cord, so apologies on my end if for the viewers. But I was going to say there was something that happened that was very quick when they were in the offensive room, and I think it was Shane Waldron talking about how many plays they would have and how many plays they'd go into the Bills game, and he was like, if it's a short drive, like 3 and out, then you guys will probably get a second one. But if it's a long drive, then you guys may get pulled after one, right? And as soon as he said 3 and out, it cuts to DJ, and DJ's like, "Fuck no!" Basically, like that's basically he's
like that. There's not going to be a 3 and out. Yeah,
100%. And you've seen it clips like not only from Hard Knocks, but we've kind of seen it from earlier in the offseason from the clips like 1920 Drive and things like that. That DJ Moore's confidence with this team is very high. Like on the other side, on the defense, you see that with like Jalen Johnson. He's kind of been the face of the defense where it's like, this is the confident leader of this team. DJ slowly has become that guy on the offensive side, which is crazy, learning that he didn't even want it. Like when he found out he was when he was traded here, he was basically like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? So I love that. Like he came here, balled out with Fields, and then now he has that confidence. Not saying he didn't before, but like, he's like, look, I'm here. I'm locked in. No, we are going places, and I think that's going to trickle down throughout. And also having an addition like Keenan Allen, who obviously these veterans, right, who have been consistent, having that confidence is going to help people like Rome Odunze, your rookies like Caleb Williams, having a Montez Sweat's going to help out an Austin Booker. So that little nugget there of like instilling confidence, like, nah, fuck that. We're not the old Bears anymore. I really appreciated that.
No, I agree. I think that's a good one. I noticed that too, Fick, when we were watching, or when I was watching last night, that the just that little smirk he did, because that was one of my nuggets here. I was like, I like that. I just like that mentality. It makes you feel different from, being a fan, even just how we cover this team. It just feels a little bit, the confidence is there, because it's weird to say, like, I'm not worried about the quarterback. I'm not worried about the offense. I think there's going to be struggles, of course. That just happens in the NFL, but I think it's just going to be, everything's going to be a lot more easier, and it's not going to feel like, oh my gosh, are we going to get a first down, in the first half or something like that. Similar to how it's been before. But Jack, do you have something, Ficky, before we go to Jack?
Well, yeah, before we go to Jack, just because you said something that's very important, like the transition of this rookie quarterback, like, and there's some major things that happened that we got the luxury of being able to be in a position of having the first overall pick and knowing for a while, is that we were able to start to install with Caleb early. And we had heard talks about that, but Albert Breer, I think, dropped like an article this week talking about like they had Zoom calls, because you only get a certain amount of like time you can contact some of these prospects before the draft and things like that. But I guess the Bears were using that like very efficiently to the max, making sure, giving them as much information when it came to installs, right? So when he came in, he wasn't starting from 0. He was starting from 10 or 15% or 20%, which,
that's the
obviously just gives you
that's the luxury of knowing what you're going to do at number one.
Exactly.
Even though you have to hide it for that, that long. But Jack,
so,
real quick, brother, what is your best part of the show?
This might be very like Gen Z of me to say, but there's something about it's going to be. There's something like my best part was that like Caleb Williams just feels like one of the boys. Like he just feels like he's like one of the guys, and like even his like specifically, I'm talking about his interaction with Josh Allen. Like, it just seems like, I don't know, maybe I don't know these people, obviously, but, like, I picture, like, Drake May in the same situation with Josh. It's, like, I don't know. There's something about, like, him being cool and, like, poking fun already, and, like, you already know that Caleb's confidence is so high that you can just sort of, like, jab at him and things like that. And so there's something about him, like, being cool with everybody that just, like, makes me like him even more. Like, he's just one of the guys, like, already, and he played one preseason game, and Josh Allen is like giving him funny tips and shit like that. So I mean, Caleb's a dude. That was my favorite part, is learning that Caleb's truly a dude.
I think that's a good one. He definitely they released a video today on like Bears YouTube and also on their Twitter and Instagram, but I think all socials probably, of him being mic'd up, and you can see, he's just real laid back, singing a lot. He likes to sing, man. Yeah, he likes to sing. That's what I noticed. I was like, this guy, but he seems really relaxed. I think his interaction with Josh Allen was. Well, are you talking about before the game or after, or both?
After,
right?
Specifically, yeah. So specifically, when he was talking about the flag, when he was like preseason relax kind of.
This is what I got. Let me hear how you guys feel. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I feel like Caleb didn't like that. Like, he didn't really respond. He was just like smiled and was like, I don't know how I would feel if I got that. Like, why do you think Josh said that? Just being funny, or was he being like?
Yeah, that was my interpretation. Is that like, and that goes on to what I was just saying, is that like it was just like one of those where you have a good sense of humor, and that's read in a room. You know what I mean? Okay. And so you can like poke fun.
So Josh thinks Josh is like, oh, I'm able to mess, talk. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Precisely. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I was like, Caleb not like that, because I was trying to. I rewinded it, and I was like, let me watch his body language here, and I was like, maybe I was doing too much reading into it. I was like, I don't know if he.
Well, it was kind of. They only gave you a short amount of context, so it was hard to tell. Because I was with you, Dave. At first, I was like, I'm not sure what this is. You know what I mean?
It's out of left field here. Why are you coming? Like, why is it the first? Is that the first thing he said? Like,
probably.
I don't know.
I could be totally wrong, and he's like, Rook, don't be pulling.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it felt a little.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think though.
I don't think so either.
I think that like when you take a step back, it's probably more of a joking manner, and you see that with like Keenan. Oh, if it's not, that's crazy.
Josh is banned.
Yo, you're on the hit list, bro.
He's on the shit. The hit list.
But I think that you're right, Jack. Like, Caleb is. You've heard it from multiple people on the offensive, like multiple players on the offensive side. Like, I've heard it from Cole Kmet. I've heard it from Keenan Allen. You've heard it from DJ Moore. He's authentic and he's real chill, right? Which is
Caleb,
like opposite of Caleb.
Okay.
Right. You've heard it all through this offseason, through multiple interviews where people are being interviewed by different people one-on-one. Right. And they've all been, they're like, describe Caleb. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh, he's authentic and he's himself. And so we know he's confident, right? We know that, and we've seen that in his play. But the authenticity, I think, allows. There was an analogy. Basically, someone was like, I think it was Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's getting interviewed by Kay Adams, and Kay asked like, "What's something about Caleb that we wouldn't know?" And he was basically like, Caleb isn't always so serious. With a lot of these quarterbacks, especially rookie quarterbacks, they come in, it's like it's all business. It has to be because it's like there's so much on the line. You're the quarterback. You're supposed to be the leader of this team, right? But because Caleb is Caleb, and he also has that confidence in him that he maybe doesn't have those outside pressures as heavy as what maybe other quarterbacks would, he can just be himself.
Right.
And because
that's exactly
of that,
what I mean. Yeah.
Right. And people are drawn to that. And then they're allowed to basically, Keenan's like, yo, you can just have any conversation with him. And it like outside of practice, it's chill. And I think that really helps build bonds. And I think that's just going to help him in the long run. So I agree with you. I think that's like the biggest surprise with Caleb, I would say. I don't know what your guys' thoughts, but like, obviously we didn't know him. We only knew like his tape and things like that before we drafted him. But I think that's like the biggest thing. I knew that he wasn't a diva. I think everyone here knew he wasn't a diva, but I'm kind of surprised about how like humble and like there's not even a glimpse of it. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna say weird. It's taken me back because he definitely, Jack's saying he just feels like one of the guys. It's just he's a superstar. He was in college, NIL first superstar, and then even in college or in the NFL transition, like he's just, you could see the NFL realizes how like his marketing ability, right? He's the header of their, all their socials. He's of course on Hard Knocks. I just feel like everyone knows how big of a star he is, and I think he knows it as well. But he doesn't carry himself like I hate to say it, like how we all kind of heard. Right in college, like, there's just no. And I don't even know if it's humility because like it's not like he's like all the way humble because he has those moments where he has that confidence, but it's not arrogance. So he knows how to like. I don't know. I just every time I see him on the mic or just he's chill, he's laid back, but he's confident, and that confidence it doesn't even borderline arrogance because it's just you believe it, or at least I believe it. Now there could be an issue here. 6-7 weeks into the season where if you're saying those same things and the production's not backing up, that's where that's where the rubber meets the road there. That's where you have to be able to, at the end of the day, produce at this level. Otherwise, it's going to be, we know at this point in the NFL, it's almost like instant results. Otherwise they don't really wait around too long. So I'll give Caleb, I think he has at least 2 to 3 years easy. But for me, I love the confidence he carries. But he doesn't have that cockiness, that diva mentality that you think. I mean, he has not the right to kind of act that way, but I mean, he has Chicago by like the grip, by the claw or something like that. And it'd be funny a little bit. But I'm serious. Like everything he does, similar to what Justin was very humble. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think I don't even think Caleb's as humble as Justin, because Justin wouldn't even talk about himself. Caleb is like, no, I expect to be, CJ Stroud. The only glimpse we got of Justin was, I think, maybe after the first preseason game. He said, hey, this is kind of slow to me. And then it kind of went downhill from that. We never heard any other comments like that because those things are hard. You have to back it up. Otherwise, the league will let you know and fans are going to remind you. Because, there was times where it was still brought up 3 years from when Justin made that same quote, like, hey, I thought this was too quick or too whatever. So anyways, I think that's a really good, detail when it comes to just watching Caleb Williams a little bit more in depth. And even outside of Hard Knocks, we've seen all the clips, whether it's fan clips, him on Instagram. I love his interactions with him and DJ and Keenan. Did you guys see that on Instagram where they're kind of, I think Caleb had posted, 7 or 8 photos from the past like couple weeks on Instagram, and they're all kind of busting each other's, it was fun. It was funny. So.
Yeah. And today on Part of My Take, Peter Schrager was on and was talking about Caleb, and he mentioned that Caleb loves to golf and he's awful at it, but he loves to go golfing with the guys because he spoke directly with Caleb, and Caleb just said he just wants to hang out with them and they love golf. And so again, that sort of just goes on to exactly what you guys were saying, was like, he's just, one of the guys, and very humble, but not arrogant, but also confident, kind of.
Yeah, and another thing too is he hasn't faced adversity yet. So like, the rubber really hasn't met the road, just like Dave said. So
Yeah.
if there's he has a clean slate in essence, right? There's no negative things that have been thrown at him yet, and it doesn't mean that he won't be able to handle that adversity. I feel like he will, and he's going to.
He definitely
He's
can.
going to face.
Look at
and he's definitely
look at USC.
Can I bring it up?
Sure.
Can I bring it up? The one time, this is what everyone else is going to say. This is not me. Some are saying.
How do you mute, Jack?
I'm not even going to say how I feel. You guys are the hosts. I'm just throwing it out. When he faced adversity at USC in his senior year, there was an infamous clip of him visibly upset, embracing his mother.
Yes.
With that being said, do you think that, not that he would do that today, I don't think you would do that in the NFL. I think college is much more of like what's the word? Like, you're much more sensitive, and it's like your last year, and it's just we all go through. We're all human. Do you think that if something similar happened, where like say we lost a big game and he was crying or something like that, would that like turn fans off? Because I feel like the media takes hold of that kind of stuff and blows it out of proportion. But I'm just curious, because that's one of the big times he faced adversity, and we saw it on live TV, and it went everywhere on media.
I think, though, you made a good point that, like, it's the closing of a chapter. So that if you actually get the context of that game basically closed his opportunity. For them to, because they were a contender. Like preseason, USC was up. They were top 25 last year. Not last year, the year previously, they were like top 10 at some point. So their goals and aspirations were to make it to the college football playoff, or, make it be one of those last teams. And I think that closed it. So I understand that. NFL, you're with grown men, not saying that you aren't in college. I mean, actually you're not. Those are kids, right? Most of those people are under 23. NFL is different. So I don't even think that would happen. Or if it does, it's more of in your own, because we've seen players cry on, like playoff games when it's over and whatnot. So I think it depends on the context of it. And also, if he's playing well, it doesn't matter. Even if it's a loss, but like if you walk away and you're like, oh, Caleb, you did all that you could. Our defense gave up 55 points. You know what I mean? And we lost a playoff game. There's just I think there's a little bit more context and a little bit more leeway with it, So.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Let me see here. Let's move on. Kind of bring it back here. But I am excited about what we're seeing from Caleb. So we did best part of the show for episode 2. We're going to move on to our worst parts of the show. Let me see here. Who wants to go first?
Mine's just going to be whining. It's not going to be an in-depth Bears thing. It's just going to be.
I'll go first if you want, because I've been waiting. But Jack, if you want the floor,
no,
I'll give it to you.
Take the floor, brother.
Okay. I for my notes looking back at episode 1, I was happy, but I did bring up, if you remember, that it wasn't deep enough. There wasn't enough depth. It felt very shallow. And I was like, okay, I gave them some leeway. I said, okay, this is episode 1. They're trying to lay the foundation. Here I am again, episode 2. And I love it. It looks really cool. There's a lot of cinematography. The transitions are smooth. I like the music concept, bringing the music into it. I love seeing DJ and his family, playing the sprinkle factory or whatever it was, the ice cream. All of those cool moments are great. I need the nitty gritty. I want them up and close and personal with Nate Davis. What's going on, my guy? Like, hey, Matt Eberflus is sending messages to you through the media. Do you hear these? Like, I want those type of interactions, the awkwardness, and I understand we're probably not able to go too deep into it, or to get some of these moments where you probably need that privacy, or the players, you got to respect it. But for me personally, this one, it has George McCaskey, it has the Bears all over it. Like, hey, we're going to try and get out of this thing as clean as possible. No hiccups. Let's make it look buttery, smooth. It's a fairy tale, and I get it. Chicago's beautiful, but I want the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want everything here, and I feel like they're just sugarcoating. It's just like all the best moments, right? So for me, I want a little bit more of the details, the analytical side. I want to see Poles and them having tough conversations about maybe Bayless. They kind of alluded to him. We're going to get to this here in a moment, if it's real or not, but him potentially fighting for a roster spot. But I just want I want to see the coaches talking about these guys. And maybe they can't because it is live, like camp. They're recording, during the week. And these players, you saw Jalen Johnson, Ficky, you kind of quote tweeted him yesterday. That was pretty funny, talking about, basically get your popcorn out or something like that. Who's ready? But the players are watching this, and we obviously rightfully so. So perhaps they're not going to show some of these moments that could perhaps divide the locker room. But from a fan perspective, and from, I cover the team, we cover the team at such an in-depth level. We already see most of these clips. It's just basically, it's a lot better. It's like a movie. It's in a movie time.
Right.
We're seeing these clips on Twitter, and we're really close to the team. But I want to see more detail, and I want the hard stuff, not just the fun stuff. Even though it was fucking epic, like that montage of the preseason game, so cool. Loved it.
Awesome.
Hearing the guys mic'd up, awesome. I need more. Similar to episode 1, I hope they ramp it up a little bit. I'm not calling for guys to be exposed, right? I don't want all of that and hurt the locker room. But it's okay if some of the ugly or some of the hard stuff is leaked. That's why you're on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, so I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it was from, but basically someone's like, oh, so the Bears
DBB?
was it DBB? Yeah, where he was like, Bears basically signed on. NFL, hey, look, we'll do Hard Knocks, but you're not getting all of the insider stuff. And we've seen drastically year over year that when Hard Knocks first dropped, they used to be really in depth. They used to show players getting cut like live, like they used to bring them in and whatnot. And then like over time, people are like, yo, that's like a very vulnerable moment. And you're like, some of these people's careers are ending and you're literally showing. Yeah. I'm not saying that's what you want, but I think over the years, they've been like dialing it back a little bit more. So I don't know if this is a NFL Hard Knocks or this is Chicago Bears, George McCaskey, Ryan Poles saying, hey, look,
okay,
do it. You can get surface level stuff, but we're not giving you the insider scoop like the Giants Hard Knocks, So I agree though, Dave, I'm on board with that. Like you would want a little bit more of that, a little bit more of those storylines to get a little bit more connection with these players. I'm just not sure if we're going to get it, which might,
maybe it's not even players. Maybe it's not even players that I'm needing. Give me just the front office. Give me the coaches' conversations, right? And maybe you don't even have to talk about a player. I don't know. I just need more. I just need more.
I feel
Otherwise, it's just going to be like we're watching. And maybe again, something I want to ask you and Jack before you guys get to your worst parts. Now that we have social media and even fans are connected more than ever to each team, because you see the behind the scenes, you get all of these clips from socials. Players are also more vocal, having either podcasts like Cole Kmet, who gave us a really good insight from CHGO. His new podcast called The 85, I think, with Adam Hogue, which was, if you haven't watched it, one of the very good, awesome episode with DJ Moore. Perhaps we're just getting so much information and we're seeing all this behind the scenes already that Hard Knocks is almost like not pointless, but we're seeing a lot of this. And that's why, because back 10 years ago, or even probably 5 years ago, you got all of those clips in Hard Knocks. You got that type of detail about 7 years ago, maybe not 5 years ago, maybe that's too soon, but like 7-10 years ago, you had Hard Knocks. And that you had you just didn't have the access that we have now as a fan, from the reporters. You get so much more from, like I mentioned before, all the different avenues of entertainment that comes with this league, because everything is social now.
For sure. There's way more content out there. So now your expectations are higher. Like think about it, 1920 has been 3 seasons now. So it was 3 years ago, we didn't get really much from the Bears, right? Now they've had their own mini Hard Knocks that we have as you have to be at least better than that. And some other teams go crazy in depth for theirs, right? So I agree with you. It's just we have more things to judge it off of now. And also because there's more things, there's more ways to get your information. While, 5 years ago, I think 5's about right. You go 5 years ago, Hard Knocks is that's your only source of
Yeah.
truth. And now
I mean,
that's
look
not
at the
case.
schedule release videos too. Now they're just ramping
Crazy.
up. So every
Crazy.
team is fighting, and they do the social media ranks. Is it Complex where they rank the social NFL franchise social medias? And I think the Bears were top 10 last year.
Fun fact. So the Chargers, which is known for like normally being, I think they've been one back-to-back years. The lead content guy for the Chargers, he did so well that he got hired by Hard Knocks. So he'll be doing the next Hard Knocks. So
that's why we thought it was going to be more in depth.
True.
Remember,
I think he just got hired though. So maybe like, you know, it will be like a next year thing. So that's something we need to pay attention to. But I think you're
1 year too early. All right.
Yeah, no, right.
At least Ficky, what was your worst part of the show?
Oh fuck. I think that's kind of it. Like it's just, you know, you want a little bit more of like that insider stuff, but if it's got to be like a clip or something, it's got to be. I still think Velus is going to make the team, but it really made me feel like he's not, right? And then seeing him, because I am rooting for him. I'm not saying people are not rooting for him. Actually, there probably are some out there, but I want to see Velus like go out there and thrive, right? And seeing him like muff that punt, not punt, the kickoff was like, because you know he did it, but I was like, bro, you're really trying to find a roster spot here. So especially when, and you know, we'll talk about him later, or we'll talk about him now. But Ian Wheeler looked great out there, right? Even from the clips, and then obviously from his play in the preseason, in 2 preseason games. So I would say
your worst part is Velus potentially being on the roster bubble.
Yes, because it's like, I don't. I want. I feel like he can be used. I think good coaches can make him work. He's never going to be the guy. He was a 3rd-round pick. He's never going to be that solidified starter. Not that I'm putting a ceiling on him, but it looks like that's probably not his route to go, right? But I think he can be useful on this team, and I think good coaches can find a way for someone that fast and that shifty to work out in their favor, right? And that's why they're trying him out at running back. So I guess it's more of like a potential worst because I don't want to see him get cut. And maybe that's just a personal kind of thing, but I would like to give Velus a chance.
I'll expand on that because I have something, but I want to hear Jack. What was your worst part of the show? Episode 2.
My worst part, and to preface, I'm American. I love winning. I love gold. I love.
I know you're going.
I do not care about Simone Biles when I have an hour a week to watch my favorite team.
Yeah, I put it up because Jack.
Oh, okay.
Right on the money.
Jack showed it earlier.
Oh, I missed it. That's funny as hell.
It's so mind-boggling because the first episode, I get it. Like we're in the heart of the Olympics. She just won gold, everything. You know, like she's awesome. I get it. And the JO sport, him going to France, it was mainstream. It was all over the place. 2 weeks in a row. That's diabolical. That has never happened in history of any Hard Knocks where they've gone into some other facet.
Well, there's never.
To
be fair, though, there's no other athlete that's ever been married. There's no NFL player that's ever been married to an athlete that might be better than them.
Ficky,
the closest thing is like
it's just like if one of the football players' wives was like a really good fisher, it would be the same thing as like her, like them just cutting to her fishing. But when you want to watch, or like think of it watching a Bears game and like you miss some of the Bears game and they just turn it on to some other sport. Like that's insane.
No, I get it.
I
get it.
To watch it, I would search it on YouTube. I
but
get an hour a week.
I will say this though. They did first off, to be fair, it was like a minute. It was like a minute. I do get it though, because like we get it.
That's a whole percent of my episode. Not only that, I had to wait an hour and a half later to enjoy my episode.
Yeah, facts.
And I'm watching the Olympics again.
I will say though, I did like though at least all right. The first episode, it was just like Simone and not really like Owens, like from a football standpoint, but at least they did like him running, making tackles, big hits. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it started with Simone, but I'm at least happy that they like tied football into it this time. But I understand, Jack, that if next week they're still talking about Simone, that's the Olympics is over. Like, it's over.
And
We'll
to
do a
address
10
these
minute.
comments, a lot of comments in here are saying that like you're going to hear about hurting during the games. I'm fine with that.
Oh hell yeah! Give me fan.
Like, I hear
miles all the
hike
time.
in the speakers. I hear hike, and we're like, oh, look at Simone over here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not missing anything.
It's
just
just a Taylor
cutting
Swift
through.
thing.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like,
care
oh, look,
about that.
Darren
I can't believe-
plays.
right.
You know, let me hear this. Also, I when they pan to people in the stands, except for Austin Reed's family. Austin Reed's family, I love it. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
They seem very authentic, but sometimes it just doesn't feel authentic. Who was it?
Rome's
Was
mom?
it Rome's mom? Rome's mom was authentic, but that lady next to her, I was like, who is that? Who was that? Was that his sister?
No,
Does he
I have
almost-
no idea. I have no
That's
idea
what I'm
who that was.
saying. Was that just like a Hard Knocks actor just being like there to be like talk to her so she's not alone and feeling awkward? I don't know. I was just like, who is this? Because they never really. Sometimes they give a title like, oh, Caleb's blah blah blah, or
Right.
I was like, who is that? So for me, I'm way too like. I'm like, who is this? Or is this scripted?
That screams
Also,
in
real
a-
quick, shout out to Gage Herrera over here. Not just with his comment here, but just the fact that we had Ficky, you want to explain real quick? I know we're going off script here, but our Patreon and why we're bringing it up. Because shout out to Gage for coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a little pause here. I know we were just mid segment, but this is very important. So Gage is a part of our Patreon and our Hall of Fame Grizzly tier. And we just had our one-on-one, our private Zoom call. Not necessarily, it's one-on-one because he was in there, but our private Zoom call for any of our Hall of Fame Grizzly members, where we talked for like good 10
Just talk Bears, man.
20 minutes. Bears got to know each other, and it was fantastic. Like it was awesome. So if you want to be a part of that, which we do once a month, along with our giveaways, which I think Chris just won a BFR shirt for this month, our last month's giveaway, which is fantastic. We have another one coming up. Also, access to our Patreon, our private Patreon, our private Discord, and all bunch of other stuff, extra content that we're posting there, a bunch of fantastic stuff. Then you just need to join our the BFR Den Patreon group. Again, that is the BFR Den on Patreon. You can join for free. I know we have like 10 free members in there, so we appreciate your guys' support as well. And then we have I think 3 or 4 paid members in there. And we have 2 tiers, like I mentioned, the rookie and the Hall of Fame. But it's awesome. We're really trying to build a community of Bears fans here. And we, it's not about the money. The money just goes back into the show so we can keep providing for you guys. But we're really trying to really get close to y'all and really build this thing up. So if you want to be a part of that, get extra content, help support us out, please check out our Patreon. And then also, if you want to support us as well, while also looking fly as fuck, we do have merch on our store, which is thebfrstore.com. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all the goodies. I've worn mine so much I actually don't have it on today because they're dirty. But if you want to support us that way, you can as well. And then also, if you want to support us free, a simple click, please give a thumbs up, subscribe. We are growing tremendously. Thanks to y'all. It's all thanks to y'all. We really do appreciate it. And we're just going to keep providing value, great episodes, and everything that we can do on our end. And we just really appreciate all the love.
Yeah, absolutely. Hoping to get a couple more in for our call here, or our video. What were you saying, Figgy?
Sorry, I not to cut you up. I totally forgot the rest of the read, but yes, Dave's right. We're going to keep growing this, and we're going to try to get more of y'all in there, obviously. Also, we have a mailbag episode where we answer your questions. All 3 of us go. Any questions you fire away, we'll answer them for you as extra content. And also, if you are new here, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. Jack will make sure to pull you on the screen before the end of the show. And if this is your 2nd episode or your 2000th episode, whatever in between, and you're a true OG, please give a hashtag OG in the chat. Y'all know what to do. We say this every week. We do appreciate it. We'll give you a shout out as well. Okay. Yep. Sorry.
And if you have any questions, of course, throw those in the chat. Jack will star them, and we'll if we have time, we'll answer them, or we'll get to them next episode. Again, like Vicky said, we appreciate the support. We're almost at 7,000 subs. We are really, really close. So if you can hit the sub button, about 50% of you guys are not even subscribed. So we appreciate you guys watching, tuning in, hitting the like button. Again, hit that like button if you can. But if you want to stick around, the season's right around the corner, and you want to stay with us, hit that sub button. We appreciate it. So real quick, before we get to our star of the episode, I want to touch on Ficky Bayless-Jones Jr. He is a lock. He's not going anywhere. I didn't buy it. They got to find somebody else. Bayless is.
I mean,
here.
look,
there's no way.
I said that before
He's
the
too
episode
versatile.
aired. I said that before the episode aired. I've been saying that, right?
Yeah.
And I know you have too. It's like with the new kickoff rule, it's like he's kind of locked in with that. And then they wouldn't give, I don't think they would try him out at the running back position if they were like, we're just going to cut you anyway.
I think he could just be a versatile because it took him a minute to get going at the running back, but he's like you said on Hard Knocks. I mean, he's day 3 in this, like number 3 of him being a running back, and he scored a touchdown. You know, that was cool, but you could see right then and there, and he said it during the episode. I had to stop thinking. I just went right, and he obviously used his speed to get to to get into the corner of the end zone rather quickly, and that was cool to see that unique burst. It's going to take a minute for him to get that vision, get that timing down. And I love him. I think Bajan, it was pretty funny talking about, hey, are you running back? You know, hey, let's sell this a little bit here. You know, this fake. So all in all, I thought that I wasn't buying Bayless being potentially on the roster bubble. So
I hope you're right, because it felt like it came out of nowhere. And again, Hard Knocks is really trying to build like emotion and like storylines. So I appreciate it. But I was like, damn, really? And then they talked about like him being on the a voice announcer and with him on the roster bubble. And then literally he muffs the kick. It cuts right to the muff kick. And I'm like, it went to the muff kickoff. And then it went straight to the, that pitch outside where he falls down. No one touches him. And he kind of stays down for too long. And then he gets it. And I'm just like, man, they're really trying to make him look bad. Not saying he's looking great, but like they're trying to like, you sympathize with this this person, and then like hopefully he like rises from the ashes. But interesting take when there's a lot of players on the bubble. That's interesting they went with that.
Well, there was a couple, they say a couple things where I'm just not buying it. You know, like Austin Reed talking about, trying to fight for a roster spot. I don't think he really is going to make it either.
No,
like maybe it's a practice squad.
Yeah.
But okay. Star of the episode.
Wait a second. We did have a super chat here from Tito.
Oh, thank you, Tito.
Nate Day-to-Day Davis needs to kick rocks. Look,
he's not
Tito,
going anywhere, Tito.
Thank you. Too much money is invested. Though. Yeah, we appreciate that. But me and Dave are definitely on the Nate Davis apology tour. So I think we want to see what he can do this year.
He's starting,
and he did have an injury.
He's talented. He had a groin injury. They finally disclosed that. He's going to be fine. And if I am wrong, you can bring this take up, but he is going to be fine. He's going to start most of the year, and he's going to look relatively good. So, which is going to be good for the Bears. So, but again, thank you for the $2, Tito. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, start of the episode. Thick.
Rome Odunze. I think they did a good job of like, first off, doing kiss. Start off a little slow, okay? But
that shit got popping.
Yes,
it was going
because you have to. And I think Keenan Allen on his interview with Kay Adams, he was like with Caleb and Ordinary People. He was like, the problem is you chose a song that a lot of people won't sing with. Like you can do slow songs; they typically work, but like you need to pick one that you got to be very mainstream. So then you get the team hyped up with you. And you notice that with Rome's talent because once he kind of does the beginning, you can tell he's a little rocky, and then the team starts doing the kiss hook, and everyone's hyped up with it, right? So that was cool to see that. Then also kind of like just getting his backstory. Then you hear like him talking to those 2 like 9th graders as well. So I just liked how they kind of it was the Rome Odunze show. I wish we would have seen in the preseason game him make more plays, but that has can't control that. But we talked about how the focus has been so much on Caleb, not only in Hard Knocks, but the offseason, that kind of Rome has fell, behind the scenes. But this is a top 10 wide receiver. Like if Caleb's not here, everything's on Rome. Rome is the star of the show. They're focused on him as much as they would Caleb. So it's just good that he kind of got his shine, because we haven't really seen a lot from him, from even like a lot of Bears content other than like draft night and like, the rookie kind of period. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Rome was great. I liked his family. I loved him using, a Kobe quote. I thought that was really cool talking with those two ninth graders. That was a really cool moment. And I like Rome. I like his leadership. I'm a little bummed he couldn't get a catch or something during the game that we got to see on Hard Knocks, but that man is going to be here for the long haul. Super, super talented, just an even better individual, which
for
you
sure.
you can't beat that. So my star of the episode, Bears running back coach Chad Morton. He replaced Omar Young this year. He's an up and coming coach. I think you saw it here. He was super, super hard on Ian Wheeler. I love that moment. I know some people might not like it. I just thought he was funny. I love that he coaches the way he does because he really cares, right? You get to see him, obviously just pushing Ian Wheeler. First of all, who is he was going to be a doctor, which he still could be, down the road, which is just super cool. I love that. That was a really cool moment to hear that background with Ian Wheeler. But the way that he was coaching, and then you get to see him coach Ian hard, but then you get to see the moments where it's like, oh, hey, it's paying off, right? And that was a really cool moment. That was my star of the episode was Chad Morton, who's the new Bears running back coach, which I'm not sure if everyone knew that because I thought I feel like he stole what he was on for good 3-5 minutes.
Yeah, easily.
Of that whole entire interaction. So for me, I thought Chad was fantastic. I kind of want to see more of him. And I would love to see, those two were really cool. And then of course, Bayless getting coached up.
You know what's crazy? So the scene where he was running, like when Ian Wheeler, like in practice and in running back coach was running with him all the way down. I was literally at that practice when that happened.
Really?
Because I didn't remember that. And then I saw, the clip. I was like, oh shit, I was literally there. But the funny part was on the way back, which they don't talk about on Hard Knocks. They cut it out. Jalen Johnson said, "You're running harder than your running back room," to the coach when he's running back. So it's just funny because as we know, JJ likes to talk a lot of shit. But it was just funny to kind of I forgot to mention that. I was like, oh shit, that's when JJ was giving him shit. But yeah, I do like that. Can I mention a runner up?
No. Moving on to the next. What poor Ficky? What do we got?
No, it's I forgot I tweeted about this one, but it's Ari. I know it's DJ Moore's daughter,
DJ Moore's, okay.
But I know it's not football and whatnot, but I just thought she was great. Like she was basically a diehard Bear fan, and I don't know how old she is. She looks like she's like 5 or 6 or something, but it's just funny to see that. Yeah, go ahead.
She's like, no Bills jerseys, just Bears.
No, that was hilarious. So
I
know that was a whole family segment, and that's cool. You know what I mean? But it's just kind of when it reminds me though. I'm just like, and we were talking about this on our one-on-one with Gage in the Patreon, so you guys should join. But we talked about how early as a kid you get indoctrinated into this fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. Me and you, Jack, all these Bears fans, at some point, like you look at Ari and you're like, oh, that was me at some point with my father or, with your mother, whoever it was. Like,
my dad was not DJ Moore, unfortunately, though.
No, well, that is true. Neither was mine. So we wouldn't be doing
wasn't that close. Yeah.
We wouldn't be doing this podcast. That's for sure. But no, but you get what I'm saying. So like you see that and you're like, oh, wow. Like it really does start young and you're like all in because as a kid, that's like all you know. So hopefully, DJ's here for a while, so hopefully we get to see a little bit more Ari when she grows up and she can be like a great face for the Bears. But yeah, that's like my little runner-up.
D Rose's son, you got to see him when
absolutely
DJ when he was like super young. That's crazy when you see him balling out, actually having like a mixtape of his own basketball wise. So I think that was a good one. Let's see here. I guess I'll throw a runner-up or actually maybe real quick. I like that they were playing Gunna. Is it Gunna?
What part?
That song, the song during the game. Like they're starting it up. You can see Caleb, Keenan, DJ, they're kind of suiting up.
Yep.
Caleb's super locked in. I thought just playing Gunna was awesome. I thought that was a really cool what is that song? Never? Never.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Never say something.
No, I'll find it. But you know what's
anyways,
funny?
I just thought it was a really dope way to get that type of music in there and that montage. So
Never Again, I think was that what it was?
Never Again, yeah. Yeah.
But the funny thing is Caleb's probably listening to John Legend because he says he listens to ordinary people.
Yeah. So every single game.
It's funny that's what he's playing. So
another thing real quick, Eric Washington, Deep Bears DC. I know we're getting, best part of the episode or the star of the episode, but another thing was I really like that he told Booker on the sideline, hey, that's the first sack of many. And then Booker was like, absolutely. And I like the way, of course, that Booker responded. He ended up getting 2 more, get 3 on the day. I just like that. I like that interaction, and to see, Eric Washington firsthand, he knows that there is something there. Just like how we all kind of see it. Will it ever develop into something? We don't know. But I think just to see him light a fire under Booker and just expect that greatness, it really shows. Again, I know we talk about a 5th rounder, so it can be hit or miss, but I think Booker has a lot of natural instincts for this position to be a really good pass rusher. And so, again, though, this is my nugget here. I thought it was someone else. The announcer on Hard Knocks was like, they kind of talked about him being in danger of needing to prove his roster spot. And I'm just like, he's a 5th round pick. Go and watch the episode that he said that. I was like,
no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
that's what I'm like. But isn't that a little? I'm like, come on, we got to know our personnel here.
Yeah, the 5th rounder.
They're not getting rid of
5th rounders in most teams. I'd say
now maybe he needs to prove the rotation. Is he going to crack the rotation? I think that's what he's fighting for. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I was like, come on here.
Yeah, bro.
I wasn't buying
5th rounders. Anyone from 5th round and down, 98% of them make the squad as rookies. Like, no, you're talking about a 7th rounder. That's different, right? 6th rounder, even maybe, but not a 5th. Come on now. But you know what's crazy? That is the true. He's not the star of the episode from like an entertainment standpoint, but he's the star of the episode when you were looking at like how you played, right? Because like you said, he had 3 sacks. Not only that, when you look at a lot of people that break down the film better than I do, like actual people, that's what they do. Yeah. Every one of them talked about how he looks like the real deal. So you see it on the field, right? I know it's preseason, but you see some of those intangibles like you talk about. Then you see very credible people talking about how he looks like the type of defensive end that you'd want. I think that's like building like my confidence in Austin Booker this week versus last week, I think is double, right? Not saying that it was like through the roof, but I think I'm getting closer to like, you know what? Maybe week 8, like you had talked about, like he's starting to find his role. You know what I mean? It's a rookie, so still give him time. But like one thing you can't teach, being a fucking giant. And that dude is 6'5", 240.
Yeah. Also the motor. I really like the Max Crosby comp. The first day we drafted him, that was his comp. A lot of people are talking about that. And I think his motor, I can see it. However, I'm going to pump the brakes just like I have to do with Caleb, because Ficky, and Jack, we're so used to these, being brought all the way up here, kind of getting teased, and you get disappointed. So, and also I want to see it in the regular season, because that is where it counts. Preseason is fucking awesome. Camp is fun too. It's just a time where everyone has hope, but it can get
so much really
scary very fast. Soon, when the regular season hits. Yeah, especially if you're playing fucking Green Bay, it can get you can get a real reality check. So, but I agree with you. I loved it. So I want to move forward to bad look of the episode. Do we have any this week?
A bad look? I don't think anyone looked particularly bad. Like no one got injured. I mean, I guess something bad, but it's not really bad, but it actually confirmed a question that we had last week. Was Colin Johnson obviously balled out last week, right? And we're like, he didn't play this week, right? So before this episode, we weren't sure, like, was that intentional? Was it not? Yeah. We heard them talk about the coaches like, hey, basically a lot of the guys who played in the Hall of Fame game, you may not be playing as much in this because we're going to give more reps to the 1s and 2s. So I guess a bad look is like we didn't get to see some of the players who had the hot hand last week and like to continue that storyline. So, because at the end of the day, right, we're talking about like being in depth. We want these storylines because that's what we care about. Like these clips are great of like montages and stuff like that. Cool. But at the end of the day, the Hard Knocks is about getting to know these players and like falling in love or starting to hate, whatever side you fall on, but like really being connected. And so I'm hoping, which I think you're about to say, I'm hoping they go back to that. They will,
yeah. I think that Kansas City game, or depending on when, there should be moments that we get it. We get those, we kind of circle back and get to maybe finish that storyline, perhaps. And I think some of these guys, obviously their story is not going to end in Chicago. They may, it might be a really cool moment for them, and they might get another opportunity on another roster. Oh yeah. So that's going to happen. It's just part of the league. As far as the bad looks, I was kind of struggling here. I didn't really have a lot of bad looks for this episode. I think that's why, again, talking about the worst part of the show, it's beautiful. The cinematic portions, the music is the soundtrack it's perfect, man. It's everything you want. But I'm not trying to see a movie here, a fairy tale. I'm not trying to watch a Disney movie. I want there to be some type of not a train wreck, but I want some of these. I want the nitty gritty a little bit. I want the arguments, right? Even the give me the intense moments, because you're telling me that they have not caught any of the trash talking or any. I need to get a few more bad words, fucking F-bombs. And then, of course, the fights, not fights, but the intense moments that happen throughout practice. That's what I want to see. So I'm not seeing any bad looks because they're not showing us any.
It's crazy, though, where you think there'd be that type of back and forth or intensity was the one-on-one, which they did show a good 2 minutes with JJ and Keenan. But it's funny because when they get off to the sideline, they're they're competitive, but there's no negative. Which I would know. To be honest,
there has to be,
there has to be, right? At least in the moment. Maybe not when you come to the sideline because you realize you're on the same team, and that's but there's got to be something, right?
But even when JJ or when Keenan, he was kind of barking at either the ref or even JJ himself, saying, "Hey, he can't hold me like that," right? And then they pan to the sideline. I don't know if that was for the same play.
Probably not.
That's why I'm saying I just want to see the full back and forth, I guess. And
it makes me wonder if there is because again, every clip or whatever has to get approved by the Bears, and it's not just the Bears. It's every hard knock.
I get that.
They get the final say. So I wonder if this is
terrible.
That's what I'm wondering though. The Bears are
telling fans to put their phones away at practice still.
Oh, I had mine out. They definitely told me to put it away.
But I was talking to a couple of people, and they are still kind of. It depends on the security guard that you get. Being hey, put that shit down. So
it's weird though, because they have old school procedures still, but then they have they have the GM, the president, and the owner literally just out there serving lemonade today. Owners out there talking to fans all the time. You know what I mean? So it's weird because
they can take photos of that, because there's photos of that. But you can't take photos of
unconditional
players making awesome plays.
Right, they do stuff that's out of the box, which I appreciate. Yeah. But then they also have these weird old restrictions, and so I say all this, and I'll stop talking about it. But I just think that this is more of a Bears issue, or Bears are the ones making it like this. They have the final cut, final say, and less of Hard Knocks. Because at the end of the day, Hard Knocks wants viewers. Best way to get viewers is controversial stuff, things that are very viral, and a lot of times there's negativity with that. So I feel if they had a choice,
I don't even need controversial. If this team, the last thing I want is our team to have some type of dynamic in the locker room or something. But give me a little bit more behind the scenes of polls, the players, and
maybe we'll get that too.
Yeah, maybe, and it is episode 2, so maybe that's coming, because we got 4 of these total.
I think it's 6 in total.
Oh, 6. So we got 4 more.
4 more, and then remember, cuts aren't happening yet. The first cut hasn't happened. Not saying they're going to show the cuts, but we'll start to have conversations about this player,
tears.
Jesus,
half the phones. Half the phones.
Yeah, no, they won't show that for sure. But
I'm kidding. But I do want to see a little bit more, and I think hopefully we do get that. So, awesome show so far. Again, if you're enjoying it, hit that like button. About 50% of you guys aren't subscribed to the podcast either, or the show, the BFR podcast. Again, my name is Dave. I cover the Bears for SM. So if you want to see my work, some more detailed stories, go ahead and check out sportsmockery.com for all of that. And of course, you can check out Ficky's work on all his socials as a Bears content creator. We got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff. The season's almost here, a lot of giveaways coming. And a lot of fun stuff with the pod. We got a really cool email today about a potential partnership that we're going to be doing. We can't disclose it yet, but I think it's going to be really fun for both you guys and, of course, just the show to be able to continue to grow. Again, almost at 7,000 subs. You guys are unreal. We appreciate it.
Y'all are fucking awesome.
It's been it's really fun. We are. I know Ficky says we're trying to grow something, but we truly are growing something. You guys have really made it happen. Of course, we want to keep building that, growing the family, but we are really excited to be kind of where we're at. So. I want to end this show with our Rotten Tomatoes score, Ficky. We'll do our shout outs here in a second. But if you want, or do you want to do shout outs and then we'll do the
Yeah, let's do some shoutouts now, and then we'll end on Rotten Tomato and what we think of the next episode.
So I want to go over let's do that.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So while you do that, let's go ahead with our super OG. This is true. This is our true OG first Patreon member, Gage, that we talked about. Hashtag super OG.
Yes.
Appreciate that. And there's other super OGs too. A lot of you have been in here for a minute. Like Mr. James, I'm pretty sure you've been following us since like episode 1. So hashtag OG, bear down, fellas. Appreciate it. Bear down. Our true OG as well. Tito, really do appreciate you. Hashtag OG, and thank you for the super chat. And then Alex, I know you're OG, and you just said you got out of the gym and started watching right away, so we do appreciate that as well. So thank you to all the OGs. And then Tito with another $2 super chat. Dang, Judon to the Falcons. I'll make this quick because I know we're about the end of the show, but 32-year-old had to give up a third rounder and still have to pay him. I'd rather do Montez Sweat any day. I'm not mad that he went to the Falcons and not us.
Well, the contract, you're gonna have to pay money. I want to wait to see the money. Yeah, I want to see the money first. I would rather get the guy from Philly.
No, you mean Hassan?
Well, yeah, from
So
Philly.
went to the Jets.
Oh, he's in Jets now. Yeah, for the Jets. Yeah.
Technically, I would rather with anyone. Technically,
yeah,
right?
I would rather take a shot on him. If we're being honest here,
that's not happening. That's never happened in NFL history. I can't say that it's not going to happen because I don't know. But a player has never been traded and then immediately rescued a trade.
He makes history, man. Look at that's what he does.
Crazy.
I love it. Again, thank you all for the love, though, especially our OGs, and then of course, shout out to Tito again for the $2 super chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rotten Tomato score. I wanted to bring that up real quick. Last episode, Jack, if you want to bring yourself in here, I'd love it. Otherwise, you can just talk your audio. But you also rated the pod or episode 1. I want to go through the scores real quick. Again, this is Rotten Tomatoes, so it's fresh, rotten. How it goes is you just score it by a percentage out of 1 to 100. Ficky, last episode you gave an 85%. Dave or myself and Jack both gave it an 80% for episode 1. Let's go ahead and start with episode 2. Ficky, how are we feeling this episode? Is it fresh?
It's still fresh, but I think I'm gonna drop a little bit. All right. So I see. Yeah, right. I walked away and still enjoyed the episode, but I don't think we're not getting those storylines necessarily that we've harped on so far. So because of that, from a storyline perspective, not from cinematography, not from the visuals and the music, they do a great stuff with the edits. But from a storyline standpoint, I'm probably going to drop it down to like a 78. But again, I will still wait till
Cruel World
11 p.m. to watch a 78. Like I'm still hyped for it. Let me put it that way. It's not like an indictment of like Hard Knocks is not making good episodes.
Okay. Jack, you want to go?
I'll be super short. Didn't love it. It was fun to watch some people. 75. C. It's a good C 5%. Episode of nothing crazy. Nothing. It wasn't horrible. C.
I honestly agree with you guys in the 70 range. I'll be honest as well, just because I think the GIFs and the memes that we had before the show, since it was delayed about an hour and 15 minutes, I think it was, Max had issues getting us the episode, but I'm not going to count that against them. Even though we should, that should be docked like another 20%.
Facts.
But at the end of the day, I think the intro is still cold. I think it's cool to see Chicago and how they did all that. And again, we talked about it. It looks beautiful. The way they put everything together, the clips, the inside, or like the mic'd up moments, great. But again, we all talked about it. We're going to continue to talk about it. It's a little too shallow for me. So I'm actually going to drop all the way down. I'm going to drop 10%. I had 80% for episode 1. I'm going 70%. I'm just not seeing enough. I'm a little worried here. And maybe I'm getting, what's the word? I feel entitled almost. I don't know. Okay, I'm like, I need more because we are really lucky this offseason to get everything that we've gotten. But at the same time, we're doing this.
I think we're just desperate at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're just desperate fans. Like
if we didn't cover the team as close as we do, maybe this would be enough.
True.
I really do. But I think perhaps, and I think other fans not diehards, because I think everyone loves the Bears just because you're not spending 100% of your time on, social media like us sickos. I think it's just, all I'm trying to say is I think maybe other fans may appreciate this more if they're not online as much and they're not connected like everyone else perhaps is, because I think there's a lot of us that feel the same way, at least on socials. So that's how I feel.
Again, I mean, if you enjoyed it and you think it was great, fantastic. It's not like our word.
It still was sick. Like it was awesome. I'm just trying to judge it honestly. And if I have some feedback, I want them to go. I want them to lock George up for a little bit, for a week. Get like in a nice area, not jail, but like just in a nice mansion. And hey, we got this.
Virginia
Take
in a cage.
week off. Take a week off. No,
that meme where it's like, I want to let my grandma out.
I'm not letting her out until we get more in depth.
You're
I want to cut.
disgusting.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh, man,
no, I
funny.
don't endorse that, Jack. But I do want to send them on a nice vacation for a little bit and not allow them to have their hands all over these episodes. So,
no, that's fair. I mean, that's a good way to end it. But we do have a new face, gang. So I want to give that shout out real quick. So Thomas Whitty in here with a first time live. Love watching you guys. Hashtag new face gang. Thomas, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Congrats on your marriage too. I don't know if that's recent, but just looking at your
it's a cool photo. I love those.
Yeah, absolutely. We love love. Now. We love. And then Tito over here said, "When is your 100th episode?" Yeah, you probably went out there. Let's be real. When is your 100th episode? Got a special gift for y'all. I think this is 85, right? 84, 85.
So this is 85. We are 15 away. So we're at Cole Komet episode, number 85. So we're 15. We're gonna hit that about week 8. Week 7. I'm just doing quick math.
Yeah, it's like 2
maybe
months.
Earlier.
Yeah, we might hit that pretty soon. So
we do about 8 episodes a month. So we're about 8. So we're about 2 months out.
Yeah, 2 months away. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be in season. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have one too. We're gonna have something. Yeah,
we gotta do something for that.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Kyle Long. I want to give him. I was actually DMing him a little bit. We're gonna get him on the show, but he just had a new podcast that dropped. With another good friend. Yeah, Mike Renner,
great.
Formerly PFF. But I want to give those guys some love. It's a brand new NFL podcast with Mike Renner and then 3-time Pro Bowler, Chicago Bear legend, Kyle Long. It's called Pushing the Pile. So you guys check them out. It's on Monday through Thursday at 9:30 Eastern. I'll be available on YouTube anywhere you listen to the podcast. So shout out to Kyle Long, good friend of the show. I'm excited for him. I know he's been excited about that. And I'm gonna hold him to it. He wants to come talk Bears with us, and we're gonna get him on the show. So. Maybe
and again, thank you for another $2 Tito with the 100th episode. Appreciate that.
Jesus. So. Thanks, Tito.
Yeah, we do appreciate that.
Awesome, boys. Again, sorry for being late with this one. It's a little odd. I tried to get Ficky and Jack to go live late last night, but they were sleeping, man. They weren't even.
We're gonna drop the receipts in here for the fans.
I'm pulling up as we speak. I'm getting.
No, Jack said, I'm kind of tired, guys.
I have to be up
at 5. I got work tomorrow morning.
I got to leave here at 5:30, and I said, up to you.
You get to go to Soldier Field, my guy. That is a dream. You're living the dream.
Coming tomorrow.
Hey,
love it.
I know. Yeah, I'll tell you offline, but get some footage. Get some footage. You got to be that guy. Just send it to Ficky, and
we'll set up their office.
We'll post it. Yeah. So post on your burner. Send it to me. I don't mind getting attacked.
Yeah.
Me and George will have a talk. It's fine.
And we'll be. And I guess it's a good segue before we leave here. We are going live tomorrow night to recap the practice. Right, boys?
Hopefully, I don't know if anyone's going, but it might get canceled for open. I don't know if you guys saw that. It being open to practice. I hope not, because we're going to lose out on a lot of clips, but there's I guess like extreme weather warning. So,
oh shit.
So
yeah, so then they'll probably go inside at the Walter Payton Center.
Yep.
Bummer. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Either way, I think we'll be live tomorrow night, and of course we'll be live right after or maybe during the preseason game on Saturday. So, shout out to you guys. We appreciate the love. Again, let's get to 7,000 subs, and before you leave, if you're still here, you might as well just leave a like and of course subscribe. So appreciate you boys. Appreciate you all. We'll be here tomorrow night.
Peace.